The Tom Brady dog attack, Navy SEAL story. What
Yeah.
happens?
Like anybody interviewing that's even loosely involved with sports wants to hear this story. But so we were there, the team does an annual exercise before deployment where we sort of collaborate, and it's our last chance to integrate with the helicopter squadrons. So we spent a couple weeks flying around the city, essentially um, doing scenarios like mock-up missions on different cool sites and buildings. And oftentimes the city is very patriotic and supportive, right? And so there's always some connections to people. And it's been the case where the pro teams have offered up like a stadium to use. So in this case, we got to use Gillette Stadium, and we were running a hostage rescue scenario in Gillette Stadium. We came in with helos. This was like the final exercise. We cleared the whole thing. It was a couple hours of an exercise. We're talking about, dogs with their muzzles, of course, when we're using live role players. The full squadron, hitting different sections of the thing is a big, cool thing. And Brady, Bill Belichick, Vince Wilfork, and, a few other folks from the organization were watching, I think like in the box or somewhere. I don't even know where they were at. But at the end of it, we went down to the field for sort of a meet and greet and some pictures. They hovered the helicopters. We got this epic photo. And then right as we broke to do sort of like introductions and sort of shake hands and hang out and maybe throw some passes or whatever, Tom Brady, was very excited. He comes over and he's like, yeah, like USA or whatever he yells, and not realizing that the dog handler had just unmuzzled one of the most aggressive like beasts of a dog that's ever existed at that team. Like probably I would say he was that, right? A dog named Nero, and totally a black Dutch Shepherd. And he lunged at Tom Brady and clamped onto his thigh, right? And I think that the reason why he clamped onto his thigh is because the handler had the sort of leash and pulled him back because they're trained to go for necks and vital body parts. So he was totally cool about it. The whole vibe of that scene changed to go like, oh my god, like we just fucked up. You know what I mean? Bill Belichick is usually an unemotional guy, and his eyes were, he looked like he was going to pass out. Like, the golden boy just got eaten by Nero. So it turned out to be okay. We thought like, hey, for sure he's going to need to go to medical and get that badge patched up, and he was just like super tough about it. It was like, I'm not going anywhere. Let's like finish this. Let's hang out. So he hung out for a good hour or so, and went and got patched up afterwards. But for sure, it was a close call. And yeah, like you said, if no one restrained the dog or called him off, or there was no handler, and it was just a loose, working dog, that would have been really bad.
That's a great way to say it.
We
So,
could have lost Tom Brady, which is good. We didn't, because he's the greatest of all time. So
right, and now he's retired. We could have lost Tom Brady. That's a good way. That would have been a hell of a way to go. That would have been the biggest sports story maybe in the history of the country.